Good morning, everybody. My name is Mike at Filmboy24, and today it's time for round number 23. That's round 23 of found film, locating it, processing it, scanning it, and showing it to you. And this one's got sound. Back at it again for round number 23, everybody. We're doing it a little tiny bit different than the way I've been doing it, which is actually probably better for you because it's less of me. You see, in the past, I would show you the roll of film, physically show it to you. It hadn't actually been pulled from the cartridge yet or processed, and I did it all sort of in one day, and it was kind of a pain. And it took all day, and I had this set all set up for the entire day, and I have a tiny little area here, so stepping over. Anyway, you don't want to hear all that. I've changed it now to where I've actually processed this film. I just did it yesterday already, and I'm going to showcase the film to you, so we don't have to go through, you know, a whole lot of I'm going to load the tank and then I come back and whatnot. You already know that I load this tank, and if you're familiar with these tanks, you know that they hold 50 or 100 feet of film. So you can have two 50-foot lengths of Super 8 or 16 millimeter film in here, or a 50-foot length of 35 millimeter film, and you process it. This is the Lomo UPB-1A tank. This is the tank I use for all of my 50-foot carts of found film. This particular roll that we're going to take a look at today, and that's another good thing about the new format, is there's been a couple times where I've started filming and then I didn't really get anything on the cart, so it was kind of a waste. So at least now I know I'm filming and we're going to have some results. This is part of our Cameraman Mike Sound Film Box Set playlist, where if you're not familiar with it, I'll put the playlist up here somewhere so you can take a look. This is film number 7 out of that particular lot of film. And what it is, Cameraman Mike is the screen name of an eBay seller that gave me an incredible deal on, I'm pretty sure it was 54 rolls of Ektachrome and Kodachrome sound film. Now, most of it was this Ektachrome, and that's a good thing because Ektachrome, usually you'll get an image out of it. Kodachrome is hit and miss when it comes to previously exposed Kodachrome. Now, if you shoot your own Kodachrome, your chances go way up of actually getting a halfway decent image. The old stuff that was exposed 40, 50 years ago, hit and miss. Anyway, we have 36 or 38 rolls of this Ektachrome, and it's all sound film. And it was all previously exposed. And what we're seeing right now is late 70s, early 80s for the exposure dates. I can tell you right now that this particular roll of film has a little writing on the label. It just says Michael. What's Michael? Well, I already know what Michael is. It's got the blue rectangle with the white letters. Now, I've been misled a little bit by myself in these sort of the identifiers, I call them, the smoothness of the cart and the color of the rectangle versus the color of the text, where it kind of gives you kind of the decade that the film was, you know, manufactured. But that, the other day I ran into something that didn't really hold up true. It didn't really match my theory. So while I know the blue rectangle is the older style Ektachrome 160 and the white rectangle is a little bit newer, like in the mid-80s to early 90s, could still trip me up a little bit. So anyway, the best way to determine how old this film is to look at the edge code. I looked at the edge code on this particular roll, and we have a circle. Let me do it so, you know, and another circle. That denotes that this roll of film was manufactured in 1979. That puts this, settle down. That puts this film probably shot in the really late 70s or early 80s. That's my guess. Most people, when they bought a roll of film, they usually shot it. So that's where I'm going with this. I loaded it up into this yesterday. It loaded like most of my sound film does, and it's kind of a pain to get it off the cart, even when you try to break the little pin back here or bend the little pin by twisting it backwards. Didn't come off very easily, but I did manage to get it off. If you're interested in learning how to load one of these Lomo UPB-1A tanks, I can help you with that. Take a look at this link up here. Did you like that? Right up there. And it'll explain to you exactly how I pull the film from a cartridge and get it into one of these tanks. It's really not that difficult once you practice. Anyway, what I am going to do is I am still going to continue to show you my basic process. I have a little video montage I put together. It's about a minute long. I'm going to show it. I'm sure most people probably fast forward through it by now. If you want to do that, that's fine with me. If you're interested in seeing exactly kind of how I process this film with the remjet on it, take a look at this quick montage. This process that I use for Ektachrome 160 type A or G film, it's black and white negative. I use HC110B, that's a Kodak developer, comes in liquid form, it's a concentrate, and the B formula, 31 parts water, 1 part HC110. That makes the B formula. And that's pretty much the standard for HC110. If you do a stand processing, you can really dilute it a lot more than that. I don't. I cool the chemical down to about 68 degrees Fahrenheit. In this particular case, it was about 67.5, which is equivalent to a little under 20 degrees Celsius. So without a whole lot more of, they're not alligators, it's me yakking. I got an alligator mouth. Let me show you the montage and I'll be right back with the film. And that's how I do it. By the way, if you're interested, I've done a video on this film. It was a film shot in the late 80s. It's called Killer. It's a very low budget, they spent $9,500, slasher horror film shot in the 80s. Actually shot in the 80s on Super 8 film. It was sort of the film that gave me the push to get into Super 8 filmmaking. And I've kind of been interested in it ever since. I'll put a link to the DVD. You can get the DVD or Blu-ray of this film. It's a really fun film. I get nothing for this, by the way. It just was very inspirational for me. Put a link to it right there in the description. Take a peek. Okay, so what are we doing here? This is a sound film. And let me start by saying sound film can be a little tricky to sync up. And the way I do it is that I extract all of the audio separately on my Elmo 912. And I point down there because it's actually down there. I do it all on my Elmo 912/S. And I export that audio from the 912 into my Tascam digital recorder. And from there, I sync everything up as best I can with the scan and the audio in Vegas Pro. That's my go-to editing software. I've used it for years. So I do the best I can. It's not always an exact science. I do have, I'm happy to say, a Movie Stuff Retro Sync unit ordered. I ordered it a couple weeks ago. They are in the process of getting that order together, and they actually build to order, so it takes a while. So I'm hoping, and I'm going to do a review, not really review because I already love their products, but I'm going to do a sort of a showcase on that when I get it. So if you're interested in the Movie Stuff Retro Sync, stay tuned. Now would be a good time to click the subscribe button so you're positive you don't miss it. Cheap shot. Anyway, keep all that in mind. I did the best I could with the audio. Here's the film. What?
What?
Do you think you could take me down to see a real dump truck with dirt in it?
A real dump truck with dirt in it?
Yeah,
Where?
down at the dump.
Jeez, I don't know.
Do that thing.
Nope.
And just see if I want to see if I can hear you talking, okay? Okay? Okay, Dad?
What?
A lot of dirt. I'm putting a lot of dirt in this dump truck.
Hey, Michael. Give me a smile. No. You're silly. What song are you used to?
Maybe not. No. I'm not used to any song. Is this dump truck metal?
Mm-hmm.
It is metal?
Yep.
If you throw...
Well, now you know who Michael is. Little Michael in his dump truck. Not much you can say about that film. It's literally a little fella in the sand playing with a dump truck, swinging on a swing set, being filmed by presumably his father. I think the film came out reasonably well considering its age, late 70s, early 80s. The audio came out okay. You can hear the brrr of the camera. I'm presuming it's the camera, or assuming it's the camera making that fluttering noise. What else is there really to say about it? It's little Michael playing in the sand. If you happen to recognize little Michael, I'd like to think he's still around. Maybe he wants to see it. Point him toward the video. Or if you feel like it, just share this video. Let's get people involved in this found film. The more people that see it, the better chance that, well, there's a likelihood somebody might know somebody and we can get the film back to who it belongs to. We already know that this is probably somewhere in the Arcadia, California region. In that region. So we could work sort of backwards from there, maybe, because I've been known to work backwards in many cases. If you like videos like this, I want you to do me a huge favor, and that's it. That's all I want you to do. Tap the like button. Well, that's one of the two things I'd like for you to do. You see this picture right here? How about subscribe? If you like this kind of content and you feel like I've earned your subscription, do me a favor. I hate doing this. I know you have to, but I have to ask you if you'd subscribe. That's what I do. And until the very next time that I see every single one of your stunning noggins. Yep, I'll see all of you on the very next go-around.